This is the most embarrassing thing I've ever admitted on this channel, and I almost didn't make this video, but I think it's important because nobody talks about the dark side of what I'm about to describe. And if it can happen to me after 10 years of doing this carefully, it can happen to anyone who's just starting. So here it is. For about 3 months, a couple years ago, I was addicted to lucid dreaming. Not to lucid dreaming in general, to one specific thing I could do inside it, and it quietly took over my life in a way I didn't even notice until I was already deep in it. I want to tell you how it started, how bad it got, and the strange moment that finally pulled me out. Let me start at the beginning because the start was completely innocent. If you've watched my video on this topic, you know my honest opinion. The physical stuff in a lucid dream is hollow. There's no real person there, it's your own mind in a costume, and the emotional side of it is missing. Said all that, and I meant it. But here's what I didn't understand at the time. The fact that it's empty is exactly what makes it dangerous, because empty things you can have infinitely. There's no other person to consider, no rejection, no consequence, no limit, and a brain will absolutely learn to chase a reward that has no friction. That's the definition of how addiction works. It started after a breakup, a real one in waking life. I was alone, I was hurting, and one night I got lucid and I did the thing, and for about 30 minutes I didn't feel the breakup. That's all it was at first. Relief, an escape hatch from a feeling I didn't want to sit with, and the next night I wanted the escape hatch again. And the night after that, here's where it turns. Lucid dreaming takes effort. To get lucid on demand, you need good sleep habits. You need to remember your dreams, you keep a dream journal, you do reality checks during the day. I had spent 10 years building those habits for exploration, for the incredible stuff, flying, meeting dream characters, exploring impossible worlds. And now I was pointing that entire skill set, 10 years of training, at one thing. Every reality check during the day was now in service of the same goal. Every night was the same destination. I wasn't exploring anymore. I was using... By the way, if you've ever caught yourself using something that started as a hobby to avoid a feeling, doesn't have to be lucid dreaming, could be anything. Tell me in the comments. I think the mechanism I'm describing is way more universal than the specific situation, and I genuinely like to know I'm not the only one who's fallen into this. The first sign something was wrong was my sleep. This is the cruel irony. Lucid dreaming, done right, can coexist with healthy rest. But chasing this every single night meant I was deliberately fragmenting my sleep, waking myself up to re-enter dreams, using techniques that pull you back into lucidity at the cost of deep rest. Started waking up exhausted, not refreshed, not rested, hollowed out. I'd sleep 8 hours and feel like I'd slept 3, because in a sense, the restorative part of my sleep was getting sacrificed to keep me in the conscious dreaming state where I could control things. Then it bled into my days. I started looking forward to going to sleep more than I looked forward to anything happening while I was awake. Think about how backwards that is. Real life with real people and real possibility had become the boring part I had to get through to get back to the thing that felt like nothing and gave me everything I thought I wanted. I canceled plans to nap. I, a grown adult, rearranged my life around the opportunity to sleep more. I told myself I was just really committed to my lucid dreaming practice. Addiction is incredibly good at giving you a respectable name for what you're doing, and the cruelest part, the part that should have been the warning, is that it stopped working. This is true of every addiction, and I learned it firsthand. The first time, the escape was powerful. By week 6, I needed it just to feel normal, and it didn't even feel good anymore. It was just a thing I did, compulsively, that I no longer enjoyed, but couldn't stop. The dream version of intimacy had always been emotionally empty, I knew that, but now it was empty and compulsory. I was chasing a high that had flatlined in a world I was increasingly trapped in, while my real life quietly emptied out around me. So let me tell you about the night it broke, because it wasn't dramatic. There was no rock bottom moment with a crash. It was quieter and stranger than that. I was in a lucid dream, doing what I always did at that point, and partway through, the dream character, the one my mind had built, stopped, and she looked at me, and in the flat, knowing way that dream characters sometimes speak, she said something that I have not been able to forget. She said, "You don't even want this anymore, you just don't want to be awake." Now, I know what that was. That was my own subconscious. I want to be clear about that because because I don't want anyone thinking a dream woman gained sentience and staged an intervention. That was the deepest, most honest part of my own mind, the part that had been watching me waste my life for 3 months, finally finding a way to say it out loud where I couldn't argue with it. Dreams do this. They route the truth through whatever character standing closest, but knowing it was me didn't make it land any softer, because it was true. I didn't want the thing anymore. I just didn't want to face the empty apartment and the breakup and the day, and a hallucination I created had just diagnosed me more accurately than I'd been able to diagnose myself for 3 months. Woke up and I didn't lucid dream again for almost 2 months, on purpose. I needed to prove to myself that I could go to sleep without using it. I needed my sleep to just be sleep again, and slowly my rest came back, my energy came back, and the breakup, the thing I'd been hiding from this entire time, I actually had to feel it finally, with no escape hatch, which is the thing I'd been avoiding, and also the only thing that actually let me move past it. So here's the real explanation, and the reason I made this despite the embarrassment. A lucid dream is the most powerful escape mechanism a human being has access to. Drugs alter your reality. Lucid dreaming lets you build a new one from scratch, with no chemicals, no cost, no one to stop you, available every single night for free. That is an extraordinary thing, and like every extraordinary thing, it has a shadow. The same skill that lets you explore your mind, confront your fears, fly over impossible cities, all the stuff I love about this, can be turned into the most sophisticated avoidance machine ever invented. It is so good at giving you what you think you want that it can keep you from ever dealing with what you actually need. I don't think lucid dreaming is dangerous. I've done it for a decade and it's one of the best things in my life. But I think anything that feels this good and costs this little deserves a warning, and I never heard anyone give one. So now you've heard it from me. If you ever notice you're going to sleep to avoid being awake, that's the line. That's the only line that matters. The dream is supposed to be a place you visit, not a place you hide. I'm in a much better place now, and most of my lucid dreams have gone back to being what they were: exploration, curiosity, the weird and beautiful stuff. But that breakup sent me somewhere else too, somewhere I wasn't expecting. A few weeks into all this, before it got bad, I had a lucid dream about the person I'd lost. Except it didn't go the way the others did at all. And it's one of the strangest, most emotional experiences I've had in 10 years of this. That's the next video. If you want to hear it, subscribe, close your eyes, stay awake.